This is the best day. It's happening. Alright guys, so before I actually show you the tent, I kind of wanted to show you my shopping kind of process and how I decided to get this Front Runner tent specifically instead of any other brands. So the biggest thing I had to consider was my Jeep, my two-door Jeep. So I had to consider weight. I didn't want it, sticking up really high above the roof rack. I wanted to keep it really low and slim. And this tent fit the budget, and it fit every check box that I had. So on their website it says this tent is the lowest profile rooftop tent on the market and only weighs 93 pounds. That's really good for me. Also, when it's folded all the way up and it's up on top of the Jeep, it's only 7.87 inches tall, minus the ladder. So that is really slim. If you go let's see, if you go to some other options, like this was an option, the Smitty built Overlander tent, it is very cheap, and it is a great tent. Honestly, I think it's a good tent, but it kind of was too bulky and big for me, especially when it was collapsed down. So wanted something a little bit better. Looked at the Tepui. It was a little bit expensive for me. I know there's tons of different budgets. All you guys watching this can spend more or less, but didn't really like this, and it had similar sizes to the Smitty built, and the CVT, their website's down, but the CVT two-person bachelor tent was a very strong consideration as well. But you can see, like, even right here, the size closed is 14 inches high when mine is like 8 inches. So this kind of is a little bit bulky for me. So I just think the Front Runner fit like everything I wanted to. So I actually ended up buying this tent from OK 4-Wheel Drive, and believe it or not, they had free shipping on this thing, which was totally crazy. If I went to the Front Runner website, I would have to pay a few $100s to get that shipped, but this shipped free, and I got like a 5% discount on it. So really worked out there. So yes, the tent is here, so let's check it out. So it looks like this is the ladder. I know these ladders aren't like the best ladders. I know they have those telescoping ones that are much better. So that is an upgraded option you can get from Front Runner, but I'm going to try this one. It just comes with it, so I think it'll be fine. We'll see how it holds up. Looks like you have little channels that you can kind of set your height on, so just like that. Cool. Maybe, yeah, pull them out. Okay. Cool. There's the ladder. Instructions. Alright, let's see if we can read how to do this. So, looks like it's just a parts list. So yeah, you have to decide first how you want it to open. I'm going to make it open on the driver's side. That way when I swing out my tailgate, I'm not going around the tailgate to get to the back. I'm just walking right into it. Okay, look for the holes. These are the mounting channels. Blah, blah, blah. Secure the ladder. Okay, here we go. Alright, so when we were putting this tent rail onto the bottom of the tent, this nut, or this bolt right here completely broke inside here. And the nut was spinning and we cannot get it to get out. So we're going to use a bolt from the ladder and use that here, and then just buy another ladder bolt later. Alright, so we did just make a quick trip to the hardware store and we got some replacement bolts. And we already put the new one on the rail. Now we're just going to use this to put back onto the ladder and get the ladder mounted up. One thing to note on this ladder, there actually is only one level of adjustment. You can't lengthen or shorten the ladder, so if your Jeep is really, really tall, it might not work, but it just barely works out for me. Alright, so we're getting ready to mount the tent to the roof rack, and we have some generic kind of mounting plates that it comes with. And I have this rubber material that I'm going to cut that fits my roof rack rails, so we're not like scraping the rails. And then we'll put this rubber kind of onto here and sandwich everything together. Here's the little pieces that fit in the channel. They just kind of slide into the rail like this somehow. This way. Just like that. And then you put your mounting plate on the back of this and then put it to the rack. Alright guys, so we just got the measuring tape out and centered this thing up there. I know the cover's not on, but the frame is centered and square to the rack. So here's kind of what the bed rail channels look like on the bars on the roof rack. So we just have to put those pieces of steel under there and put some rubber lining there and then bolt it all up. Alright, so we got everything square and lined up. Then we put some rubber pieces in between the tent and the roof rack. So we have a little buffer, a little isolator right there so it doesn't scratch anything or bounce around. So now I'm going to go around and try to tighten all this stuff down. Alright, as you can tell, I kind of ran out of daylight from that last clip, but was able to get in there and wrench everything tight and throw the cover on there, so it went really well. It did take a while to kind of fit my hand in between the roof rack and tent to tighten everything, but as you can see, it opens up perfectly and it works well. So this cover actually slides into a channel here on the edge of the tent, and what I want to do is be able to roll this up and kind of keep it in a nice roll up there. So what I'm going to do is take the Velcro from the strap of the actual tent and put another Velcro here so I can just kind of loop it and stick it up there. Alright, there we go. Got that wrapped out of the way so I can actually open the door. Alright, next step, we have these poles. We have 4 kind of shorter ones and 2 longer ones. The 2 longer ones go from there to the top of the rain tarp and on the other side, and the 4 shorter ones that I'm holding here go on the front and back of the tent. Alright guys, everything is put up, everything is ready to go. The setup on these things are so quick. This probably took me 3 or 4 minutes to set up, and then another 3 or 4 minutes to do the poles. So that's really not that bad. It's much better than a traditional tent. Alright guys, so first I'll start at the ladder. Honestly, this is probably the weakest, cheapest part of the tent. A lot of these rooftop tents have telescoping ladders, and they each kind of level, they telescope. It is strong, it is aluminum, it is stable, but I think the telescoping ladder would be a little bit nicer. So on the outside we have a rain fly. This tan part is the rain fly. And then you can take it off. There's some Velcro straps on each four corners. Of course, when you take the rain fly off, you don't need the poles, so it's just that gray part there. So here's a look at the middle. This is kind of where it folds up right here. You just have a flap to go over that if you don't have the pole up. So the whole tent has, on all sides, has two different kind of doors. So you have like a screen bug net, and then you have another one that you can zip up, and it's completely weatherproof. All right, here's the other side. So you basically have two doors. Like I said, you have a bug net and just a regular solid door, and they both zip right here. And that first door kind of zips here and there, so you have a zipper on all sides. You get this 2.5-inch memory foam mattress. It's pretty nice. It's pretty roomy in there too. Up there you have some skylights that are just kind of clear plastic, so if you take off this rain fly, you can actually see totally clear and kind of see the stars. There's also some pockets in here you can put kind of spaces for lanterns and things like that. Here's a quick look at the custom roof rack we had built. This was built by Wilder Solutions in Rogers, Arkansas. Somewhere up here I'll put a link to that video, and that video talks all about this roof rack. But anyway, it was a very, very necessary thing to have for this rooftop tent, and both of them worked really well together. So kind of a bonus feature of having this style rooftop tent is you get this little awning space. Now I know it's pretty small, but they do make little walls you can kind of secure up to the corners here and kind of annex this in. But I don't plan on doing that, but at any rate, it's kind of a nice built-in awning, so if a little rain shower comes in or anything, you can kind of stand under there and you'll be protected from the rain. Forgot to mention that this is a 4-season tent. I plan on using this in the winter, in the fall and the spring, probably not as much in the summer just because it's super hot down here in Arkansas. But you do have these 4 windows you can kind of air out, and actually a lot of breeze goes through there. All right, let's walk in and check it out. So kind of the first thing you see, this mattress doesn't go all the way to the edge, and that is actually for a reason. This is to put kind of your dirty shoes, bags of clothes, kind of whatever you want to in this little space here. We have some pockets here. There's some pockets right over there. There's a couple little Velcro straps for a lantern. Here's a look at the space. I'm 5'10", and I think this mattress is 6 feet long because when I lay down, I have a few inches there and a few inches for my feet here, so I think it's about 6 feet. That's plenty of room for my wife and I, so I think this mattress is awesome. So another cool thing that I kind of figured out is if I want to, in the middle of the night or kind of whenever we're in the tent, I can put my cooler right there on the cargo rack. I can just grab a drink or grab food, and it's off the ground and it's out of the way. So this window being right here is awesome. Here's a little look at the 2 different windows. So you have a screen window here, and then you can kind of zip this up and insulate yourself if you're in the winter or something, if it's cold. Another thing I'm pretty impressed with is the quality of the zippers and the stitching and the material and everything. It feels very well built. It's very thick. I haven't had it in the rain yet, but the cover of the tent is also really, really nice too. It's really rubbery and thick. Really impressed with it. Here's a little look at some of these details. You can see that this is kind of double reinforced, and it's kind of like that all throughout the tent. All right, so now I'm gonna start packing this thing back up. One thing I did see is that you are able to put sleeping bags in here and then pack up everything and fold it. So I'm going to test that real quick and see if we can kind of keep our sleeping bags in here, because that would free up a lot of space in the Jeep. All right, so that totally did not work. Both sleeping bags did not fit at all. I was not able to close it. I did try one sleeping bag, as you can see in this time lapse, and that did work, but I decided to take it out eventually when I got home because it was kind of making the tent bulge and kind of stretch a little bit weird. So yeah, I just decided to take one sleeping bag out so nothing's in there at all, and I think it packs much better that way.
All right, here it is all packed up. I really like this cover a lot. On the back you have the Front Runner logo, then you have the same thing right here on the front. So yeah, that about wraps it up. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Really appreciate you following along. If you're a new subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Please like the video, comment as always, and you guys have an awesome day.